All right, how's it going, everyone? We got an exciting matchup tonight, and we're also going to go over a little bit of my Adam's apples that I was not able to do this week. Apologies for that, but I'm going to do a recap of some of the ones that I was right about, whether I ended up talking about them or not, and we're going to do some Benji's Ballers week one as well. But first of all, really excited for this Vikings and Bears matchup.
Hmm.
We got Caleb Williams going into year two, first game with Ben Johnson the regular season. He obviously looked good in that one preseason dress rehearsal, but we got to see it in the regular season. And what better way to do it than against the Minnesota Vikings, top 10 defense from last year. And we got JJ McCarthy. So we're going to see the first of JJ McCarthy, the first of year two for Caleb Williams. So it's going to be a really exciting game. Any pregame thoughts on that, real quick, before we get into our players?
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it, exactly, as I was thinking, it's Caleb Williams, second year. We're gonna see, how that Bears defense looks this year. I think they usually, look always pretty good, pretty decent. But yeah, we're gonna see how much Hawkinson and Aaron Jones can help out McCarthy in his first game. We saw Penix's first game as Atlanta. Can JJ, have that kind of, that good of a first game, that first outing, after sitting a year. He was injured compared to, Penix is just sitting. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the division matchup on Monday Night Football to kick it off. And I think it'll be pretty close. So yeah, I mean, we can get right into your Adam's apples if you'd like, Adam. Um,
Sounds good,
yeah.
Johnny. Chill out. Hopefully, my dog won't bark while I do
All
it.
good. But yeah, we had
Um,
an amazing weekend of football, and we'll get more into that tomorrow on our Inside the Locker Room. We'll kind of round up. Uh, Adam, who was the first player on your list that kind of came into fruition and you saw last Sunday, and they had a good game for fantasy wise?
yes, I got you in 2 seconds. Here, Johnny. Maybe if I pet him, that'll work. Here, I'll pet him while I talk. There we go. So first of all, Ricky Pearsall, he would have been the first guy on my love list if I didn't have to cancel it Sunday morning. If I knew how to set a damn alarm correctly, basically. But basically, what it boiled down to, I was saying whatever the circumstance, try to start him. We had Ayuk's going to be out for the first like 6 games, so that there's already going to be more opportunity available because of that. George Kittle ended up going down, so he had even more opportunities because of that. And according to the reports, Ian Rappaport reported earlier that Kittle's going to be out 3 to 5 weeks. So that is an absolute huge blow for the 49ers. But back to Pearsall. Um, he had the encouraging usage in the preseason. So I just believe that it was just going to continue to go forward. Jawan Jennings was a little iffy with injuries, and then was just able and the being mad about his contract, but he was able to get that locked down right before week one. So basically, it just seemed like it was going to be the Pearsall show.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what happened. Basically, I was saying that for the 49ers to have a chance to win against the Seahawks, he was going to have a big game, and that came to fruition. Um, but do you wanna jump to your first baller then? We'll just kind of go back and forth. That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll kind of do a little two-pack here. Because I was actually at the game and I saw it in person, and man, it was such a sight to see. And I feel like this is going to be, one of the classics that we'll talk about in week one, certainly throughout this whole season that we'll remember. But man, Aaron Rodgers and both Justin Fields, I mean, they had themselves both a game. Aaron Rodgers throwing for 4 touchdowns. Absolutely, I'll be honest, he absolutely torched the Jets defense, but he also threw for 244 yards with a rating of 136. But we also can't count out Justin Fields. I mean, he silenced the critics that it was all off
He looked
season
amazing.
that were being heard. Yeah, exactly. He looked freaking amazing, dropping darts to Garrett Wilson. Exactly what we were talking about all off season. He finished with around 218 yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. I told people, I said, Justin is going to run into the end zone at some point, someday. And he ran for 2 of them. So super proud of that. And I got to throw in Membu as part of the game as well. He had about
For sure.
26 pass pro snaps, according to PPF, and he had allowed 0 sacks. And honestly, I believe for the whole offensive line either, I think Justin Fields didn't get sacked till like the fourth quarter.
When
And
Membu didn't even
honestly,
allow a pressure, that's
exactly, a
even that's next
pressure, like
level.
a QB hit, like Membu played lights out as well. So yeah, those are my first round of ballers, and that's from the Pittsburgh versus Jets game over the weekend.
No, I love it. Yeah, Rogers was a blast from the past.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
so happy for
vintage.
you the entire game, knowing you were
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
then,
It was
I
vintage
mean,
Rodgers, man. That play action absolutely killed them, and Rodgers used it to his ability. Seemed like the receiver was wide open on every play, but Rodgers just found him every single time.
yeah, I'm sure it stung in a way, but in a way, it was also like, okay, this is what we were supposed to have. But yeah,
Mhm.
it kind of sure it hurt because Rogers was basically kind of had a vendetta against the Jets, and the post game quotes were not exactly
Yes.
kind.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
just trying to. It's
yeah.
like anyone that like in the Jets organization. Yep, this was for you, basically.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into more of that tomorrow on the pod episode. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, you can't deny it. He absolutely balled out, and then Fields as well. I mean, he took charge. He honestly had an answer against the Pittsburgh offense every single time. And yeah, do
I
you
can
want to get into
admit
your?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
you want to get
go
into
in
your next
next
apple?
for sure. Next one was going to be Tyler Warren was going to be one of my good apples of the week. Um, see, I'll pull up the rank. Actually, no, I don't have the tight end loaded, but he was my tight end 10 for the week. And I probably could have ranked him higher, but there was some more established options. But still, I thought that was somewhat bold to put him top 10 in
Mhm.
week one. But based off his utilization in the preseason and all the reports, it seemed like he was going to get a ton of usage. And we saw it the very first drive. He had three catches of over 8 yards on the very first drive. You saw the chemistry with Daniel Jones. Quarterback's best friend is his tight end, and not great quarterback or a mediocre quarterback.
Mhm.
Not that Daniel Jones looked mediocre yesterday, but also their best friend is a tight end. So I think it's going to continue. I think to make somewhat bold prediction, I'll say Tyler Warren after week one. He's going to be the Brock Bowers of this season.
Mhm.
And I don't even think that that's bold. That bold because of just like the usage. It was insane. Um, but diving into my next one,
Yeah, we also
and
have Colston Loveland playing in a bit. Game's actually starting about right now, so we'll see how he does in comparison. Drafted right before Tyler Warren, so we'll see how that goes.
no, for
And
sure. And just,
yeah,
yeah, I'm very, very excited to see that. So the next one was Jackson Smith and Jigba. That
Jason,
again,
baby.
JSN just kind of boiled down to if the Seahawks were going to have a good game. Obviously, we lost in heartbreaking fashion. But at the same time, I thought the Seahawks played a better game for a lot of it. They just missed some opportunities towards the end of the game. But
Mm,
one thing was for certain, JSN was the guy. And only 25 pass attempts for Darnold. I think JSN had 13 targets, so 56% of the targets went to him.
mm,
So that's astronomical usage. If that type of stuff continues, he's gonna have a chance at a top 5 wide receiver season. And there's no reason it's not. Cooper Cup didn't look amazing. I think it's just week one. I think he can bounce back. But Cooper Cup had like I think one catch for 15 yards on two targets, or maybe it was two catches for 15. It wasn't great. So the uh, JSN should continue to shine. But you wanna go into your next one?
yeah, I
Got
mean,
another baller for me?
I don't want to be too repetitive with the quarterbacks, but I mean, we can't ignore also the game that we watched in Brazil. Justin Herbert finished with 3 touchdowns and passed for 318 yards, man. I mean, that Chargers offense looked incredible. Getting Keenan Allen involved, it was good to see him back in a Chargers uniform. And then also Quentin Johnson, surprisingly catching 2 touchdowns for himself. And Chargers look good against the Chiefs, so I got to mention Herbert in there. Also, Josh Allen, we saw him leading in crazy, comeback after the turnovers from Baltimore. He also threw for 394 yards. But I guess kind of rounding out our, I'll get into a non-quarterback here, and then actually we had the same player here, so you can talk about him as well. But I want to mention freaking Igmika Egbuka. He had an astounding game for Tampa Bay. He's had 67 yards, caught 2 touchdowns, and the first touchdown he caught was actually the touchdown to put them over the Atlanta Falcons, making it 10-7. So, yeah, I feel like I hit the nail right on the head for Egbuka. He got right, involved in game one. But I mean, Adam, what did you see from Egbuka from this game, and how much did he impact that Tampa Bay offense in his very first game, even as a rookie?
I mean, we were hearing the reports all off season. He looked like a 10-year vet. Johnny, go settle down. He looks like a 10-year vet. He showed it that it wasn't just noise. Baker Mayfield backed him up and said, I mean, we've been saying it the whole offseason, essentially. He had the early touchdown and he had another one. I think it was the game winning touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
I had him ranked as a top 20 receiver going into week one. And I believed it was going to happen right away. We don't have any Godwin. He
Hmm.
actually looked better than Mike Evans. I really think Emeka Buka is going to end up being the Puka Nakua of this season, which is crazy. Like
Interesting.
I think it's going to happen early and often. I think it's just going to continue and continue. Let's see if I had any other notes on him. Are you Emeka Buka? Bear with me for just a sec.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was just gonna say also like, and we also can't forget about landing either. Penix, obviously looked amazing. Bijan scored on the very freaking, first possession there. So, the Atlanta offense looked good, and certainly their defense as well. Just came up short at the end. On special teams there, tie the game.
No, for sure. Yeah, I guess that was basically what I had for Ibuka. But yeah, he's a stud. He showed it, and he's going to continue to show it every single week of the season. I think. Um, I he could end up being the offensive rookie of the year. Like
Hmm.
Cam Ward did not look great in week one.
Yeah,
Tyler Warren, you got to throw in the mix. Obviously,
yeah.
we got a long road to go, but
Hmm.
both of those players outplayed Ashton Genty. Omarion Hampton didn't have a crazy game. Henderson was solid. The usage was really good.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, we have a long way to go, but I guess did you have any more ballers?
Not necessarily. I mean, I liked what I saw out of Will Campbell over there in New England. Unfortunately, the Patriots, did not come up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Next week, I definitely want to see, better ball play from Drake May, and we'll see if some of these other players sort of, emerge. The Lions, I think, looked kind of rough, more than normal in week one. We'll see if they bounce back in week two, and especially with the Chiefs as well. Do we see them start 0-2? They play the Eagles next week on Monday night. So that would be interesting to see. And yeah, we got the Bears and Vikings right now. So yeah, I mean, if there's not anything else you'd like to say, Adam, I mean, these folks, they can catch us every week here on YouTube for Adam's Apples, going over the best fantasy plays for every week, who you want to start, who you want to sit. And then my segment here, Benji's Ballers, the best playmakers from every single week, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be making a post about that shortly. And our power rankings, my power rankings will also be coming out shortly. We got to see how this Bears Vikings games goes. And our pod episode will be coming out soon. We'll be recording that tomorrow. So, yeah, ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this quick little episode. Wanted to get it in after the Sunday games. So, yeah.
And
Anything else you
real
want to add,
quick,
Adam?
yeah, real quick. Membu was the best rookie offensive lineman. I want to throw a shout out to Gray Zabel, who was the second best rookie
Let's
offensive
go.
lineman.
Shout out to O lineman,
So looks
baby.
like we got two stalwarts to protect our quarterbacks for a long time. I hope. He only gave up a 4.2% pressure rate, so very very good stuff. But before I end the stream, you got a prediction for this Bears Vikings game, Benji? I gotta get it on the books.
I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game than we think. I'm gonna take the Bears. I'm gonna take them 17-10.
Okay. 17-10. Ooh, that's real low scoring.
Yeah.
The Bears 17-10. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm now afraid because I think we're both gonna go Bears. I have a weird feeling that the Vikings are gonna squeak this one out
Mm.
defensively,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna go with my original gut and I'm gonna say Bears 23-20 over the Vikings.
Okay.
But thank you so much, everyone. Anyone that's watching, anyone that watches this afterwards, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. Don't forget to share with anyone that you think would like our content. Appreciate you guys so much, and be sure to tune in Sundays for Adam's Apples. We got the regular episode, like Benji said, tomorrow probably, but that one's gonna be on standby depending on schedules. But we're gonna get it in one way or another, and looks like this one's going to be pending too, but we're probably going to have Benji's Ballers, and we're going to do this recap most likely Mondays before the Monday night football game, so we can do a little pregame and basically do what we did today. But thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much.
Yep.
Signing off.
Peace out, guys.